Oh, hello.
Hi!
It's Charming Disaster. We're so glad to welcome you to this week's edition of the Quarantine live stream. I see people are starting to sign in the comments. Hello, Fred. Oh, Julian and Red as well in Minnesota. Mike in Ohio and Justin in Virginia. Hey, Taryn. So glad you could tune in. I got a bunch of texts from you before, but we were in the middle of getting ready from the show, so I will congratulate you properly when we're done with this. Hello, Melissa. And here we are.
Oh, it's good to be here again. It's been a week already.
A week.
Feels like a few days, but
I don't know. I don't know anymore. It's very strange. Hello, Sierra and Melissa and Katie and Dan. Oh my gosh. And then 1,000 people, I'm exaggerating, but a lot of people just suddenly commented at the same time. Sarah and Paula and Donald and Matt and Misty and Danielle. Well, as we're waiting for everybody to find their seats, this is a great moment to take a moment to share this video on your socials. If you are watching in Facebook, you can just share it with a little share thing underneath, or you can copy and paste the link. Tag your friends, invite your enemies, nemesis, rivals.
You can tag your enemies.
Beloveds who don't know your name. Anyone, really.
Yeah, just random folks.
Yeah, just random folks.
Tag random folks.
If you are new to Charming Disasters Quarantine live stream, this is a donation-based show. That means that if you're in a position to give financially in support of our music making, we could just move this. Then we appreciate your support. Here are a few convenient ways that you can do that. We have a Venmo, we have a PayPal, we have a virtual ticket link, and of course we have music and merch on Bandcamp. So those are all great ways to support the show.
Yeah, and if you can't support it this time, this is our gift to you.
That's right.
Yes, and we're just so glad that anyone is showing up at this time.
Oh my gosh, it has been such a gift getting to spend time with you all every week. Also, it makes my heart or whatever in there grow a little bit every time I see people talking to each other in the comments.
It's true.
It's really cute.
It's true.
All right, so thank you for the compliment on my dress. That comes from Liz and Dylan in Philadelphia, who have a cool shop called Hidden River Co. Vintage stuff, so you can check them out.
That's where we got our Polaroid camera, I believe.
That's true, and an excellent hard-sided suitcase.
Oh yeah. I think it's right there.
Yeah. So we're going to begin the show with our opening ritual, which is drawing a tarot card to tell us a little bit about what might be in store. Do you want to pull the card?
We have, look, it's so cool. It's like a felt, one of those black velvet posters.
Here, I'm going to put the image up so people can really see it. We've drawn the King of Wands. And the King of Wands, we like the King of Wands for many reasons, but my favorite is his little pet salamander at his feet.
Yeah, and he's got a tapestry with Ouroboros and griffins and dragons and other alchemical symbols going on in the back.
Yes, the King of Wands, he speaks to us of transformation. The kind of transformation that salamanders undergo, metamorphoses like butterflies. Butterflies who started out as caterpillars who have to turn into a kind of liquid goo in order to fulfill their destiny. Much like turning lead into gold, they come out the other side transformed. Well, I was just going to say, one of the cool things about the metamorphosis of caterpillars into butterflies is that they have found that the butterfly architecture is in the caterpillar, in the cocoon. It's there all along.
That's right.
But invisible and unknowable until the caterpillar basically destroys itself in order to fulfill its true identity. And the courage of those caterpillars is something I think we should all think about. Their courage to leave behind the world that they know of, crawling around and eating holes in leaves or whatever they do.
Yeah, turning into something they don't even know what they were.
But they have this longing, and they have to go somewhere high and do the thing that they were born to do. So
Here we are.
that's all any of us can do. All right, well, do you
Wow,
want to...
that was intense.
I know. I like to think about the caterpillars, though. The goo.
The goo.
The
yeah.
transformation and the goo. Yeah.
Ah, goo.
Yeah. How's my hair? Does it look like it's falling down? I don't touch it. It's a little
Do
precarious.
people like this? Do people like this?
Yeah, well, Taryn likes it, and I want it to stay.
It's
Uh,
yeah. I think you're transforming it to
Yeah,
something
I don't know. It's gonna
different.
It's gonna end up somewhere. Well, should we play a song?
Let's play a song. That's what we're here
That
for.
is what we're here for. All right. Let's.
Remember how this go?
Oh, we're gonna find out.
Did you tune? Because I did.
I started tuning, and then I got distracted because I wanted to do the Instagram thing. But I'm still pretty tuned from yesterday. All right. So wait, I'm gonna share a secret right now, and this is the secret of the fabulous hat/hair piece thing. It's never just one thing. There, that's the secret. It's a bunch of things.
There's more
Yeah.
than meets the eye.
All right.
What is the keys? Where is it starting?
C minor, right?
And then
Or is it C sharp minor? C sharp. Yeah. Oh my God, we have like fun in it.
oh,
No, I think yeah. Oh, geez. Yeah, we could like roll a video while we learn how to play this.
yeah, C sharp minor. All right, yeah, we got it.
All right, we'll see how it goes.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah, okay.
Your spoon was in the boiling.
Your thumb was on the scale.
Don't try to lead the witness.
That won't get you anywhere.
Sit still and try to listen.
Hear the whispers in the wind.
Make yourself an empty vessel.
If you wanna let them in.
Turn pages, lick your fingers.
Black ink is on your lip.
You won't find out the secrets.
In all the books you kiss. Your tail and your
Slip off your outer layer.
find out what's underneath. Find out what's underneath. Underneath. You've had your fun.
Darling, here's the part you won't remember.
Lion eats the sun.
Darling, till there's only glowing embers. Who will you become? Darling, when your skin is torn asunder, torn asunder, turned inside out. Now you have found all you wanted, turned inside out. Now you have found all you wanted. Your wings were in the blueprint. Others are wrapped in code.
A phoenix's potential.
In the ashes of your bones.
figured it out by the end.
Pretty much.
Yeah, like if we play that again right now, we would freaking nail that.
We are different people than we were at the beginning of that song.
Yeah.
Maybe you should turn off that light. It seems a little bright. Is that better?
Yeah, I think that's better.
I think that's better.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
Cool. All right. Welcome, latecomers. All you've missed so far is us kind of slowly easing into that song.
Mm-hmm. And the show.
And the show. And oh gosh, there's a lot of you on tonight. It's so nice to see you all.
Oh my God.
Can you believe that we are in December? We are in the dark of deep December.
Dark December.
Yes. We are descending into darkness as we approach the longest night of the year.
Mm-hmm.
There is a light at the end of the tunnel.
What's that light?
Well, it's partly the COVID vaccine, but it's mostly the winter solstice, the hinge of the year where we start working our way back up.
It's the burning fire of sacrifice.
The burning fire of sacrifice. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. The sunlight does not come for free.
Yeah, that does not come for free. You have to earn that.
You do have to make a sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
And we have an easy way out for you this year, which is to participate in our video that we're making for the longest night of the year. We've received a bunch of entries already of
they're all so great.
Your lip sync videos for longest night of the year.
Great. We love every
one
of them
so much. And because we love them so much, and because we want to give you time to get them to us, today was officially the deadline, but we are extending it through the weekend. So if you want to be part of this video, and we hope that you do, because it is so much fun to see your faces and your pets and your weird stuff that you're doing.
And your pets' faces.
Oh my gosh, it's so great. So Henge Person Dan, if you wouldn't mind popping that link into the comments so people can find the details.
Yeah, and it's a low bar to entry. It's easy. Don't feel self-conscious about anything. You could just shoot stuff around your
and the more entries
home.
we get, the less of each one we
That's right.
we
That's
so
right.
The pressure gets like lower and lower.
Yeah.
So pressure each other if you would to participate in this challenge. Let's see, we have a birthday in the house. I see Stacy Wolfson. Stacy Wolfson, she submitted a video, and Stacy, we love your video so much. She does this like really amazing choreography. Not technically lip sync, which is fine. You know, it's an interpretive challenge.
Yeah, really.
So we want you to do what makes you happy to be in this. All right, I'm just looking at the and Stacy has a song request, so we will seriously consider this for you, Stacy. I think we can make this happen. All right, I'm just looking at the comments. Oh, somebody got the red bird shirt from our merch. All right, great. And maybe we should play another song.
Let's.
Speaking of the curse of winter, you might be familiar with the story of Hades and Persephone. And if they're not familiar with the stories of Hades and Persephone, do you want to give them like a little Cliff Notes?
Yes, Persephone went down to the underworld.
But why? Why did she go down?
Because she was kidnapped and brought down to the underworld.
And then what happened?
By Hades. Who just really...
Who?
Hades.
Who's that?
He's the Lord of the underworld.
The Lord of the underworld.
He just really wanted to be around her. She was so pleasant. And his life was so dark. And she was full of, sunshine and the joy of life. So he brought her down, and he just loved her so much.
That he offered her some fruit.
He offered her some fruit.
Like you do when you love someone.
Like you do. And she wasn't that hungry, so she only had 6 pomegranate seeds to eat. Which, if you know anything about going to some fairy place or some magical land...
like this is like 101 stuff, people. Do not eat the food that they offer you. There's always a catch involved. strings attached.
So who was it who pleaded for her release?
Who pleaded for her release?
Her release and brought her back.
Her mother.
Her
mother, Demeter. Demeter, who is the goddess of the harvest. Demeter was so distraught when her daughter was brought down into the underworld that all the crops died and it snowed.
It was very cold.
That's why we have winter.
That's why we have winter. Everyone knows that.
But Demeter struck a bargain with Hades, and because Persephone had only eaten 6 of the seeds, she was only committed to stay down in the underworld for 6 months of the year. And thus the cycle of the seasons began with Persephone going back and forth to her. I mean, it's an interesting story because, like, it has to do with leaving your home, like your birth family, and like going to the kind of mourning that is attached to that for parents losing their children to like their adult lives.
It's true. Yeah, it's like some people go to Florida 6 months out of the year.
Sure,
it's kind of like that too.
Yeah, and it's like it's not so bad. Like you're just like dividing up your time.
Yeah, and Hades was happy with this arrangement. And
yeah, I mean, everybody was like pretty happy with this arrangement, and also like Persephone, like she like the Lord of Hell was pretty sexy. Like she was into him, and so like she was okay with this arrangement too. Anyway, this song is called 6 Seeds. Hold on, I gotta get rid of this pillow.
Yeah,
Wrapping this up.
Nice pillow.
Yeah, I made these pillows. They're really nice. But they're all right. Starts with an F. Oh, that was an E. My mistake. The only trees that grow down here bear fruits like scarlet bombs. I hold one heavy in my hand. Will it blow me to kingdom come? Each segment like a precious gem. The jewels right on my tongue. I taste the ruby soft as caviar, as sweet as summer sun. 6 seeds sing to me. 6 seeds send me underground. 6 seeds set me free. Show me what I've never seen. Drink me down
Six seeds send me underground. Six seeds set me free. Show me what I've never seen. Drink me down like grenadine. Six seeds sing to me. Six seeds send me underground. Six seeds set me free. Show me what I've never seen. Drink me down like grenadine.
Your season comes around.
Six seeds sing to me.
The winter world above
Six seeds set me free.
Descend into the dark, my friend, my enemy, my love, my enemy, my love, my enemy, my love, my enemy, my love.
There you have it.
Myth of Persephone and Hades. Now that song was actually inspired partly by a trip we took out to the West Coast last fall. We stayed with some friends of ours outside of Chico, California, and they had all these fruit trees, these big persimmons. Do you remember what kind of persimmons they were? They had some special name because they were so sweet.
Yeah, they were like,
They tasted like brown sugar. They were so sweet.
what were they called?
And they had pomegranates, like these like bombs. And they had like a wheelbarrow full of them.
Yeah, that's where we learned about oak galls.
Oh yeah.
Our friends.
Yeah, our friends
in
Bob
Los
and
Molinos.
Trish
Yep.
in Los Molinos. So Bob and Trish, if you're watching, we love you. We still feel like we need to spend half the year on your place thanks to that pomegranate.
That's right.
But we ate the pomegranate on the plane ride home back to the East Coast.
And there are a lot more than six
Oh
seeds
yeah,
in
there's
that
a lot.
pomegranate.
Yeah, it makes the mess, by the way, when you eat one of those on an airplane. Just pro tip. Yep. All right, so we have a very, very exciting special guest on this week's show. We haven't had a guest in a little while. We had Nelson Lugo the magician a few weeks back, and or months back. I don't know how to tell time anymore.
Years, it might have been years.
So Thomas Little, also known as a Rural Pen Inkworks, is an aesthetic reception technician, material philosopher, ink maker, and klexomancer.
What? Klexomancy? What's klexomancy?
It's divination with ink blots, obviously.
Oh, cool.
He explores mystic and scientific concepts through the lens of ink and our relationships to mark making.
His work gathers threads from alchemical imagery, chemical phenomenon, mystic observations, and incorporates them into holistic synthesis theory of art, science, and magic. Our favorite things.
All of our favorite things. The natural world informs his work with ink, not only in the materials used, but in the relationships expressed between plant, animal elements.
He has combined pigments and has made a couple of university material libraries. Sorry, I can't read too well. And has curated exhibits at New Orleans Pharmacy Museum on ink and pigments.
And that museum is a really cool place.
Cool.
So Thomas is basically the coolest, and we've been semi-obsessed with his ink making, alchemy, and his slime mold art experiments ever since we discovered his Instagram, thanks to our friend, the magician Anya Solomon.
Yes, and I have one of his inks right here, which is the Sekhmet preparation, inspired by the goddess Sekhmet, who needed some kind of blood sacrifice to sate her thirst.
Like you do.
And so they created this, the mythology is they gave her beer instead, and she passed out drunk and didn't bother them anymore. But this is made with, I think, iron oxide and beer, actually, and it makes a great ink.
All right, so we're thrilled beyond words that Thomas has agreed to join us on the show tonight, so we're going to invite him on screen with us.
Come on.
Oh, wait, we got to put in our headphones, though, so we don't get the
yeah.
horrid feedback. But I seem to have put them somewhere. What did I do with them? Oh, there they are.
In your lap.
They were in my lap all along.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right, let's call him.
All right, let's summon him. Oh, should I do the thing? I'm going to do the thing.
I might just blow him away.
All right, I'll just... Thomas, are you
Thomas,
there?
are you there? Can you hear us?
Hello, yes.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you and where are you?
I'm well, and I am inside of my headquarters here in my studio in a dilapidated old building downtown in a small rural town, and no one's here except me and the ghosts.
Oh.
Well, that seems friendly enough, depending on what kind of ghosts, I suppose.
The ones I make.
What do you make?
Great.
Yes.
Well, would you like to give a little presentation for us on some of the work that you've been doing, and then maybe we can open it up to some questions from the audience afterwards?
I would love to. Yay.
Yay!
Okay.
All right, we're gonna take ourselves out of the
All right.
screen and give you the spotlight.
Take it away.
Here we go.
Okay. Well, first of all, I would like to say thank you for having me on. Your songs are really pretty, and thank you for all the nice things you said. My name is Thomas Little. I am an ink maker, probably first and foremost. I make a variety of pigments that I use, and I also provide for other people. And I seal them up in tiny little ampules. There's a little flower in there. I don't know if you can see it. But yes, so I make ink, but I also use ink. And what I've been doing lately is experiments with forms and life forms, as well as just like ectoplasmic forms and theoretical forms, specifically ink blots, which I know everyone's probably pretty familiar with from psychological tests and things like that. I like to think of ink blots as psychopomps. That is to say, like the creatures that sort of guide us into the afterlife, or in this case, more like the nether regions of our mind, where we have both the ghosts of our past in our life, and also the experiences and dimensional beings that exist beyond us, deeper in down the evolutionary tree, so to speak. But yes, so I like ink blots. I think one of the things about ink blots that everyone notices immediately is that they're symmetrical. They are symmetrical, and that is what draws our eye to them. Due to the fusiform face area in our brain, which makes us sort of see faces and everything, because we're sort of hardwired to recognize faces as if we were like, on the open plains where we see members of our family or whatever, and want to communicate with them, since we're primarily visual creatures. I'm fascinated with the idea of finding some sort of like common denominator, some sort of essence of stuff, like the life of ink blot, the ghostliness of ink blots, like the spirit of ink blots. And like you can say, well, ink blots are just ink blots or whatever. But there's a variety of ways to analyze ink blots. And one of the ways that I analyze my ink blots uses a little technique that I'm going to show to you. So I'm going to draw an ink blot. Let's say it looks something like this. It's not entirely symmetrical, but you get the idea. Put little eyeballs on it. So yeah, here's our friendly little ink blot. And yeah, it looks like something. But it could be any sort of ink blot. It could be a variety of things. The one thing it has it's similar is that it is bilaterally symmetrical. But there is, through the data collected through the Rorschach experiments, there's something that's called percepts. And when you look at an ink blot, you see different things. Like you see a dog eating a ball, a couple dancing. Those are called percepts, the individual things you see. So it's like, I see this, I see this. All this data has been collected for a long, long time since the Rorschach's been in place. And of course, it's there, available to be analyzed by all sorts of scientists. There was a study recently that was very interesting regarding the fractal dimension of ink blots. And determining the fractal dimension, it gets a little mathy here, and I don't really understand it all. I have a computer that does it. But I can sort of give you the general idea. The fractal dimension is the dimension between dimensions, like 1 and 2. 1 dimension is a line, 2 dimension is a plane. To determine the fractal dimension of an ink blot, you use something called a box counting algorithm. And that goes a little bit like this. You go blah, 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 blah. You draw a box. And if that box has both black and white in it, then that counts as a certain data point. If it's solid black, it's one thing, solid white is another thing. But we're only interested in where it has both black and white. And seeing as how this is one entire square that has black and white, it is, of course, that value. So what we do then is we divide the box further into 4s, make the same estimation, so on and so forth, until we start getting down to finer and finer boxes. And in the finer and finer boxes, the number starts changing, like how much certain things, how many both black and white are there. If you haven't figured out what you're sort of doing is determining the contour of the ink blot, which is the fractal dimension. And what you do when you go through this, you have this funky formula. I'm going to try and write it, but it's kind of unwieldy. Ugh. All this equals log n over log 1 over thing you do. Now, I don't quite know what any of those numbers do, or those letters. But I do know that when you run this simulation, you get a number that's between 1 and 2. Just like we were talking earlier, there's 1 dimension and there's 2 dimensions. So what you're finding is the place in between dimensions that the ink blot resides. So you're like, well, what does that have to do with ghosts or anything like that? In the study of the Rorschach ink blots, there is a sweet spot number. The fractal dimension has a specific value in which more percepts are perceived. So more ghosts are seen in a way, so to speak. And that number is 1.1. And maybe a few other numbers. The general area you want to reach is 1.1. So it's just sort of slightly outside of the range of 1-dimensional. So what we call like a low value D fractal, which is very soft and appealing and very, we like it. That's where we see so much stuff inside these variables. So this fractal dimension is sort of like a metric to gauge how much we see in an ink blot. How many ghosts we see. I mean, most paranormal sightings are really just sort of a variety of pareidolia, like, that essence of like seeing a face. It's that experience of seeing a face in something. That's part of the fusiform facial area, part of the brain. Yeah, so that was one thing. Moving on to the other element of my work is I work with slime molds. And slime molds are very fascinating billion-year-old creatures. I have some with me, of course. They are actually not molds at all. They're actually giant amoebas. Giant amoebas that are a collective. They are millions of individuals that all operate as one, and they move rather rapidly for a single-celled organism, because it is technically a single-celled organism, though it has multiple nuclei. They're amazing. They're fascinating. They like blow my mind, and I love them. And they exhibit incredible feats of intelligence that we would not normally assume from something that has absolutely no organs, a brain, a nervous system, or anything else. It just operates like this pure essence, this earth spirit life force that just sort of like moves around and like eats like microbes and fungi and stuff. I'm gonna show you some. I happen to have a little Tupperware. I do like these guys a lot. And I have one here, a paper towel. I want to show you guys. They're brilliant yellow. I just love this color. It's Physarum. It's actually named after the Physarum. That's the name of the slime mold, by the way. Physarum polycephalum. But Physarum gives it this brilliant yellow color. But I don't use it for the yellow, even though it is brilliant and lovely. What I like to use it for is it actually happens to carry certain pigments with it whenever it's traveling around. And one of those pigments is something I happen to make, which is iron oxide, which I believe Jeff was speaking about earlier in the Sekhmet libation ink. And in order to get it into the slime mold, I have to sort of grind it up with the food that it eats. It is inordinately fond of oatmeal. And a lot of what I do, it usually ends up being making little bits of kibble, like this. This is some kibble I made. That's an experimental variety. This seems to be what's really popular right now. But what I've been doing that's been really fun is just today, I made a tiny jello of ochre. I call them rusty jigglers or ochre bone jelly. It's very fun. In fact, right now in the other room, I'm gonna take you guys over there. We have a time lapse going on of, I don't know if you guys can see it, of the slime mold eating some jelly. It's very exciting. Just thought I'd share that with you. That's the time lapse chamber. It's always a trip in there. Let's see. I have just crazy, all over the place sort of ideas. Sometimes I have a hard time reining it in. How are we on time, guys? Are we still good?
Yeah, we're still good. I would love it if you'd give us a little tour of your space. We see just the edge of those butterflies, and it's so intriguing.
Well, it's a bit of a mess. Surprise. For those of you who know me, I'm all notoriously slovenly. Yeah. Speaking of, yes, butterflies. How apropos for the theme. I also am very fond of butterflies, their metamorphosis into goo, and how they really are sort of just like living ink blots. This is a beautiful big blue morpho. Unfortunately, these guys are getting eaten, but that's life. Here we are. This is some of my sumac. This is dried sumac. I use this in making ink. I have a whole bunch of it. I'm anticipating large quantities of ink at some point being needed. And I have a few. This is a little rack of pigments I'm working on. I have a few special ones. This is some nice, this is red ochre as well. It's one of my favorites. I usually just like using black iron and red ochre. And it is some special ink for a client who I'm very late in delivering. I'm sorry, I'm gonna get it to you soon, Hannah, for writing on mirrors. My clientele ranges from wonderful, sweet grandmas who like to do calligraphy to witches who write vindictive spells and stuff. I'm not saying that about you, Hannah. I'm sure you're totally cool. I bet if you want to be vindictive, there's no judgment here. Sorry. Hannah's not vindictive is what the takeaway is here. Oh yeah, my studio. This is some bonds that I make. I make ink bonds. I forgot to tell you all about that. But these are their little incubation chambers. They are also known as Tupperware containers. And there, I have a sort of finished project here. This is what happens with the process. The ink blot is infused with valerian root, which for some slime molds is just like catnip, like literally catnip, because catnip has the same somniferous compounds in it, but it loves valerian root. I, however, seem to have an anomalous strain that I found. This is I found in the swamp where I live. And it doesn't like Valerian root at all. In fact, it shows what's called negative chemotaxis, which is to say it finds it repulsive and it moves away from it. So you can see it sort of creates this interesting like avoidance pattern, and it only crosses when it's like really where the ink's thin, because it doesn't like the scent of the ink. So I use the two things together, the ink blot and the slime mold, to sort of create this dialogue of form between two different fractal creatures. Slime mold is a Lindenmeyer system. It's actually a really cool thing, Lindenmeyer systems. It was modeled by a botanist who wanted to figure out how plants develop their structures. And he also uses sort of like a mathematical approach that is used still to this day in making things like computer generated ferns for like CGI stuff and all that. But it goes sort of like its own sort of grammar. It's like, so you have like an alphabet, and say your alphabet's A and B, and you have a that was called an axiom, which is where you start the sequence. And in this case, let's just say it's A, and you have production rules. And let's say it's like every time there's an A, you get AB. And every time there's a B, you just get A. So are you with me here so far? So the axiom, where we start, we write A. And in the next reiteration, we have AB. So there we go, AB. And then we know A goes AB again, whereas B just goes A. And then A, we have AB again. B, we have A. A, we have AB again. So this creates this sort of structure that is, and this is a very rudimentary one, but it creates a structure, a branching structure, which is very common in a lot of organic life. A lot of, I mean, not just organic life, but like river deltas and like, and of course in life forms, like our eyes, our blood vessels, our nerve cells, not just like algae and plants. But the Physarum, the slime mold, is actually like a living Lindenmeyer system. It's like this, it has its rules, its alphabet, it moves through space according to like its own sort of like collective will. So in that instance, it's really cool to see it like working with the ink blot, which is this, bilaterally symmetrical form. That's a little bit like a skin that's been laid out and peeled and pinned to the wall, a hide, and like the slime mold, sort of like the viscera of it. I like to think like what I make with these things is sort of like dissected imaginary creatures. It's sort of like the body is the ink blot, and then like the actual working parts are the slime mold. So it's like they're like homunculi that have been flayed open. Anyway, that's where I was going with that. So yeah, I think I'm ready for some questions.
That was amazing. I'm gonna pop us on screen. Thank you so much, Thomas. That was like just my brain was sort of exploding, and I love getting to see those bonds. So folks, we can open up the floor to some questions. I saw a couple pop up on here's one. Caesar asks, so when does the amoeba slime colonies escape the cube cage and start conquering the world?
Well, now that I've fed it gelatin, which as you know is flesh, I'm anticipating any minute now. I mean, like, I don't know. I think they've been here for billions of years. They're biding their time. I don't even think they really notice us, to be honest. They already have conquered the world. They're in Japan, they're in Australia,
That's true.
Here.
That's a good answer. They have conquered the world. All right, I have another question, which is, can you tell us more about the ink bonds? Like they're obviously beautiful pieces of artwork that are, that are the fruits of your various interests. But like, what is an ink bond? Yes,
I'm sorry. I mean, that's sort of what I should talk about. An ink bond is a document, also a scientific document, and an example of these little creatures that I make. They're all about yay big. I have some failed ones over here, fortunately. They're in the process, they died. But they're about yay big. They are the ink blot with a Physarum slime mold anatomy in them. And they also represent a bond for 100 milliliters of ink. And that is 4 ampules of ink of this size. This is some nice magnetite ink I've got. It's magnetic. It's pretty cool. And they mature on Halloween of next year. And I sell them sort of as art, but I also wanted to like sort of give them a material value beyond just, you know, sort of dollars and stuff. I'm really more sort of fascinated with the idea of community currency and what that means. But if people want to collect them because they're pretty, I'm fine with it too.
I'm going to share that. You sent us an image of one earlier, and I'm just going to share that on screen so people can see it. So here's an example of an ink bond and a bunch of ink bonds. And so so correct me if I'm wrong, but they're all different. And each one, so you could buy one for $50 from you on Instagram. Yep. And then you can either keep it as art, or saying on Halloween next year, you could trade it back to you for 4 ampules of your iron ink.
Yes, it can be redeemed through me or one of my agents.
Oh, that is, and do you have any ink that's made of like dissolved weapons or anything like that?
Yeah.
Actually, all of my iron ink is made out of dissolved weapons.
What?
Yes, I take weaponry from a variety of sources, since I do like using haunted items, that I then dissolve in either sulfuric acid or hydrochloric acid. And I make, if it's sulfuric acid, I'll show you the pretty crystals. This isn't from a gun. Actually, this is from Tanya Solomon's house. I pulled out some nails out of her walls and dissolved them.
Tanya, I think Tanya's watching. I've seen her in the comments. So I don't know, Tanya, if you know about this, but
this is your house. I got your house in bottles. But yeah, these are green vitriol, and so you take that, and this is something you can use in making traditional iron gall ink as an additive to like oak galls, or what I use is sumac, as you saw from like the wall, or you can roast it, calcine it, if you will, and then that gives you your red iron oxide, much like you see in this beautiful jello. And you can also just let it decompose in water and turn into yellow, which is also very pretty. But I use mostly all weapons that I dissolve in sulfuric acid.
How long does it take to dissolve down into?
Depends on the acid. Sulfuric acid is a little bit slower. I'd say that takes about a week. Hydrochloric acid really just eats it up, and it's smelly. And it could be maybe about 2 or 3 days. I'd say it's 2 or 3 days faster than the sulfuric acid.
Mm-hmm.
One of our viewers asks, do they morph over time? Which I assume means the bonds themselves.
Of course not. No. They don't do that.
So maybe.
All right, it's an ambiguous response, but I respect
Should you keep it near the oatmeal? You should.
They've been sterilized. They've been sterilized through heat and alcohol, so they should be fine.
Who hasn't?
Cheers.
Cheers. All right. Well, you're getting a lot of love in the comments, and I just want to make sure that you're seeing some of these.
I see them.
Yeah, people are. So I just wanted to share some of that with you. I have one final question, which is, did these bonds, do they glow under black light?
They do.
They
do.
Why do they glow under black light?
The yellow stain that they are stained with is actually curcumin, which is a derivative of turmeric, and alcohol, moonshine in this case. And it fluoresces under blacklight. And I will try that now, though I just noticed my blacklight was a little bit dim, but I'm going to turn off the lights. Can you see me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can
Cool.
see you.
It might not be that dramatic. It's sort of like, there you go. Sort of, it's like an off. If you can see the yellowness of it.
Yeah.
See your pupils also. Yeah, it seemed to be
Oh,
glowing.
My
yeah,
glowing demon pupils, you mean?
glowing yellow. That is very
Oh,
cool.
so cool.
And we have Tanya Solomon has a question, and since you stole her nails, it seems like she ought to get a question, which is, can you talk a bit about the foretelling aspect of klexomancy?
Well, should I turn the lights back on? Or
Yeah,
you guys
sure.
like it? Okay. The foretelling aspect is, it's really about how you would define mancies.
Mm-hmm.
I like to think of it's not so much as seeing the future, it's just seeing parallel presence, alternative ways, other dimensions, and understanding them in conjunction with how they hinge towards a certain direction, a certain plurality of time space, because I don't know if I can say like these are the winning lottery numbers because it's inkblot. They're more like guides of like reaching further back into our collective subconscious, and also even further back into our alien slime mold brains, collective creatures, like sort of like move in direction. So like it's sort of like a way for me in what I do to root back down into like this brain that's in a brain that's in a brain that's in a brain. So it just gives me perspective.
Thank you. I appreciate that. As we dabble in cartomancy, I also like that approach, that it's more about parallel ways of seeing.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Well, Thomas, thank you so much for joining us. We loved your talk, and I know that our viewers also loved our talk. Henchperson Dan, would you mind popping Thomas's Instagram link into the comments again so that people can easily find him? Everybody, you just follow his Instagram because it's beautiful and it's fascinating and it's all the stuff you like tiny Jello molds.
Yes, Jello molds for slime.
Lots of them.
Beautiful.
It's gonna be a party tonight.
Yeah. Ooh,
Oh yeah.
I know what I'm having for dessert. All right, we're gonna send you back into the abyss. We're gonna banish you from whence you came. But thank you so much for joining us. This has been really special.
This was a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Take care.
Take care.
And he's banished. We've banished him. I could listen to him talk about weird stuff for like forever.
Do you think that was even weird?
I mean, it's not weird for us. It's not weird for our peeps here. Oh, that was great. All right, and Tanya Solomon says you're welcome for the nails. So we're just, I feel like we're connecting the dots here.
There's a lot of magic in the everyday.
Yeah. I guess we can take our thing out now. Yeah. All right. Well, folks, I did want to show off something cool, which is that
I'm gonna turn off the light.
Yeah, turn out I too have something that glows under black light, and it is these earrings, which MC and Justin arranged for me to have.
They see it?
Here. Yeah, you do it. It's hard to do. All right. These are made out of uranium glass, which glows under black light. I keep them in a lead-lined box and only take them out for special occasions. But this seemed like one such special occasion.
And we're back.
And we're back. Ooh. All right, so thanks MC and Justin for these dangerous beauties.
So we have a Phasarum right here.
Yeah, it's doing well.
It's doing well. It's moving around to its
healthy.
different oats.
Yeah, oats and jiggly things, rusty jigglers.
Rusty jigglers.
All right, well, it's almost 9 o'clock. We're gonna play you a couple more songs, and if you're willing to go a little over with us, and then we're gonna call it a night. We're gonna play a song that is a new song. It's so new.
We
that
don't even know it.
You may have heard it before, but it's not yet released. However, we just released the pre-order today on Bandcamp because it's Bandcamp Friday.
And what does that mean, Bandcamp Friday?
Bandcamp is the most artist-friendly of all the music platforms, and on the first Friday of the month, Bandcamp, since the pandemic started as a way to help support artists, waives their revenue share, which means that anything you purchase on Bandcamp, merch, music, what have you, goes 100% to the artists today. That said, if you buy music on Bandcamp the rest of the month, it is also good for artists because one purchase on Bandcamp equals like tens of thousands of Spotify listens. So if there's an artist who popped up on your Spotify Wrapped list earlier this week, like go on their Bandcamp today and buy something from them as a way to
Yeah. And once you buy the download, you have access to it via streaming. And they have a really great editorial department.
Yeah, they're really great.
Yeah.
Anyway, you can order this song starting today, and it will officially release 1 week from today.
How'd that go? Okay, I think I know this one.
Let's see how it goes.
Okay.
Shovel in the backseat, secrets in the front. Try to keep your shit together, don't open up the trunk. Fly under your radar, keep your profile low. Driving to Idaho, driving to Idaho, driving to Idaho.
Something might have happened you don't talk about.
Make sure that the taillight isn't burned out. Better watch out, better take it slow. Driving to Idaho, driving to Idaho, driving to Idaho. Listen for the siren, watch the flashing lights. Stick to the speed limit, travel day and night. What doesn't hurt you is what you don't know. Driving to Idaho, driving to Idaho, driving to Idaho. Did you need to go too far? Did you do what you had to do? Make a wish on a shooting star and hope it's not aiming at you.
Shouting at the windshield, rain is coming down.
Just another day till the money runs out. Take a deep breath, it's all under control. Driving to Idaho, 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 driving to Idaho.
When is that coming out?
December 11th, a week from today.
Week from today.
That's right, just 1 week, and you can have Driving to Idaho on any of your music platforms that you prefer to use. But starting today, you can pre-order it on Bandcamp. And don't just support us on Bandcamp, all the artists that you love.
Yeah, support me.
Yeah, support Josh.
Support Elliot. And us.
Yes. We've got time for one more song, and Stacy Wolfson, Birthday Girl, I think you're going to get this one. But before we play that, I just want to let you know about upcoming events. So next week on December 11th, we have a double header planned. We are going to be part of the American Folk Art Museum's Free Music Friday series at 6:30. And that is going to be on the American Folk Art Museum's Facebook page. It's a donation-based ticket show. So you can, Henchperson Dan's going to share links in the comments to follow the American Folk Art Museum page. We're in a lineup with two other artists who are really great, Niall Connolly and Queen Esther.
Queen Esther, I love her.
Yeah, she's after us. And you can RSVP to the event on Facebook so you get a reminder. And then there's a link for Eventbrite tickets, which are pay what you wish. And our plan is we're going to be playing a short set of all of our road songs. We haven't figured out exactly what the right order is, but like we have a pretty good idea.
We're going to stand up too. We're going to be standing up.
We're going to
It's
make
gonna
it
be
like
different.
it's going to be like concert
It's gonna
style.
be crazy.
Concert crazy style.
Crazy. It'll still be in this room, but
yeah,
it's
but
gonna
like
be
over
crazy.
there. Yeah. And then at 8 o'clock we'll have our regular show here on our two channels.
Also crazy.
Also crazy, but seated on a couch. So we hope that you'll come to both of those shows, or either at least one of those shows. But the American Folk Art Museum is a wonderful place, and we're really happy to be part of their series. So come check that out. And before we play the last song, there's an important ritual that we would be remiss to neglect.
Blood sacrifice.
Well, we talked about the sacrifice, and that's...
Now we're going to do it.
Oh, but Henchperson Dan, we have changed our plan. I saw you just copy that link where we're going to not do the one that we put in the run of show, and instead we're going to play Sympathetic Magic for Stacey Wolfson's birthday. But first, the unicorn
Oh, this
oracle.
This ritual.
This ritual. Some of the
Sorry.
cards are facing the wrong way. So, okay. So, all right. I'm gonna shuffle these a little bit.
Yeah, I want to pick.
Yeah, you
partnership
don't want to
again.
pick the wrong unicorn because it's fucking ugly. All right. Here are the cards. Which unicorn will be the theme of this coming week for us to meditate on and think about and
this one.
rely on for
This is
guidance.
galloping towards me. Oh, we might want to pick another one. Delight. We picked this one. I think we need a backup.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, we've picked
We
this one.
picked Delight. I
Yeah.
mean, there's nothing wrong with Delight. We love Delight.
It's very cute. We just show them because it's really
Yeah.
cute. It's like a tiny
It's a
unicorn.
teeny little unicorn
It's just
coming
a
out of
little dandelion puff.
dandelion puff. It says something about Delight. Okay.
Okay. Try again.
I didn't know there were doubles in this deck.
There aren't.
Ooh,
Ooh.
this is perfectly apropos
Okay.
for this episode. We have chosen Rebirth.
Rebirth. That is perfect. You did well the second time.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What's this? Reinvent yourself. Give life to your dreams. Create a new reality.
Well, that sounds a lot like dealing with slime molds, doesn't it?
Sure does.
Can I see it?
Yes.
Is this a picture of a slime mold, do you think? Some kind of giant
kind of-
amoeba-like organism
Looks
with a
like it.
tiny unicorn embedded in it? Do you think it's feeding on the unicorn?
That makes for the best slime mold food.
Give life to your dreams. Like, give your life to your little...
Yes, rebirth. You
Yeah.
have to die
to
in
be
order
reborn.
to be reborn.
But it's gonna be fine. And some lucky person will receive this in their merch shipment.
Yeah, and this too, because
Yeah, that one got lost in the shuffle. Oh, see what I did there? That's a card
get it.
pun. Yeah.
very good.
Yeah, anyway, order a thing. Maybe you'll get a unicorn. Oh, and speaking of the things that you can order, we have
yes.
some fancy new bandanas, which you may have seen on the internet. I guess this is also the internet, but they have crows on them. You can put them on your face or
Around your neck.
around your neck or,
Around your crow, if you have a crow.
around your eyes if you
You
just
can make a little
need
crow
a
cape.
break. Yeah. Anyway, it's on our Bandcamp, bandanas. And now, Stacey Wolfson, we wish you eternal life. We wish all of you eternal life, but for Stacy's birthday, we wish it most especially. We drink to you. Cheers.
Here's to you, Stacy.
Can you feel this from a distance? What I'm doing with my pins? Pull them from between my lips, and one by one I stick them in. Not a cushion, not a pillow, but a clever mannequin. If I covered it with kisses, would you feel them on your skin?
I can feel you out there doing it yet again. Up to your old tricks, dear. Reaching out through thin air. Uncontrolled twitches. Sharp pains in my back. Butterfly kisses. Hot breath on my neck.
Can you feel this
Can
from
feel you
a
out
distance?
there
What I'm doing with
it
my pins.
yet
Pull
again.
them from
To
between
your old
my
tricks,
lips,
dear.
and one by one I
Reaching
stick
out
'em in.
through thin
Not a
air.
cushion, not a
Controlled
pillow,
twitches.
but a clever
Sharp pains
mannequin.
in my
If I
back.
covered
Butterfly
it with kisses,
hot
would you
breath
feel them
on
on
my
my skin? It's not the same as the real thing. I like this better instead. Ooh, I know you're thinking of me when I'm thinking that we are connected. We are connected. On the evening of the seance where we met that only time, all the candles were extinguished when you put your hand in mine. The table started rocking and you caught my evil eye. We promised when we parted we would never say goodbye. I knew
Make a
from
little
Antonino
totem,
that you were
fetish
a
doll,
kindred soul.
effigy.
Your smile
Put
was
it
so
into
familiar,
token,
and I couldn't
something
let
that
you go.
comes from
It's
me.
a
Sympathetic magic.
pulls us
Are we
together
doomed?
close.
Are we
It's a
cursed? Sympathetic magic. It
It's
can
the thing I
always
love
be
the most. It's not the same as the real thing. I like this better instead. Ooh, I know you're thinking of me when I'm thinking that we are connected. We are connected. Never would believe it, that a toy can take a toll. I sewed it with a needle and a piece of your soul. Not just any
what you
simulacrum,
wish for.
such a sweet
It
rainbow
comes back
control.
sevenfold.
I could shoot
I fall
you
into
with
a
a
well,
pistol,
dear, and they'd never find the hole.
It's not the same as the real thing. I like this better instead. Ooh, I know you're thinking of me when I'm thinking that we are connected. they truly are connected with you, not in like a creepy way, maybe a little creepy.
Like a slime mold.
Like a slime mold. We love you. Submit your videos to the Longest Night of the Year project so that we can include you. And we will see you here next week. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Thank you to henchperson Dan for pulling the levers backstage. And
thank you to Thomas Little.
And thank you so much
joining us here.
to Thomas Little for joining us here. We will see you all again soon. We love you.
We love you.
Good night.